but find a good pair of jeans that you can throw on and you can wear all day. You can play with your kids in them, run errands, you could dress them up. That is like a staple piece in your closet.
Welcome to Mom Meets World, a podcast talking all things motherhood, friendships, and life. We're your hosts, Alaina Brookmeyer
and Peyton Saraiva. We have a lot of ground to cover, so let's dive right in.
Hey, y'all.
Hey, guys.
Welcome back. We have a good one for you guys today. We have a guest on to our episode. Her name is Shelby Gosselin, and she is a stay-at-home mama of 3 kiddos. But what we really dive deep into is her love and passion for fashion. And I didn't mean to rhyme there, but she essentially she doesn't want you to go on a shopping spree, but she'd rather you pick and choose your go-to items and keep things very basic and have your must-haves. And so she gives us some tips and tricks of how to achieve that, and also just finding your own identity and expressing that through your fashion and whatever chapter of life you're in and whatever body you're wearing at this time. So I love that it's not just a matter of oh, here are all these brands, go buy these certain items. We really dive into how that looks like for each individual. So yeah, we got a lot out of it and chatted fitness as well, because it's all about taking care of the body that's wearing the clothes. So yeah, we had some really good chats on today's episode. What did you think?
Oh, I really enjoyed it. I found Shelby to be insightful, and I'm excited to improve the staple pieces in my closet. And I know I have a few tips. I'm going to turn my hangers around, and you'll know more about that once you guys listen to the episode.
Love it. Well, awesome. Let's go ahead and get our quick little weekly catch up before we bring Shelby on. So what's been happening in your world?
Oh, good week. Yeah, we had a really awesome beer dinner at the brewery. It was a cool beer pairing that Chase put on, and it was wonderful. He was just so in his element. We had a local catering company come in and cater a whole 6-course meal, and Chase paired them with beers, and there was education parts of it, but it was amazing to see the community of people coming around for such a cool event. And then we hopped in the car and headed up the coast. It's the King's birthday, which Australia, fun fact, is still under the King and Queen's rule over in Britain. And so we had the June long weekend, which was the King's birthday. So headed up to our friend Rich's house, but unfortunately I caught the flu. So what was supposed to be a good holiday away ended up spending a bit more time in the bedroom taking naps and trying to shake the fever I had. But knock on wood, thus far, Cooper and Chase have avoided it. So not quite sure what I caught, but it was good spending time with family. The guy that we stayed at his home, he was our Airbnb host once we were stuck in COVID. So that's a funny story for a different day. But a 2-month holiday in Sydney ended up being a year living in his house, but also a lifelong friendship. So he's opened his home up to us and a couple other family members. We call them his really good friends for a good weekend. We did get a little spa chime in his hot tub, which they call a spa in Australia. We got to go explore some caves before I really came down with a high fever and ended up a bit more homebound, but overall it was a good weekend, and now I'm just gearing up for our trip back to America.
Yay. Yeah. Well, I'm just happy to hear that you're feeling better, because having flu symptoms is no joke.
It's no fun, especially not
as
in
a
your
mom.
own house.
So thank goodness. Yeah. But thank goodness you did have Chase around and extra hands to help out and stuff. So that's the silver lining. But yeah, nothing too crazy happening in my world. Ben was on another work trip this past week. So, solo parenting these days hasn't been as just exhausting just because of the in-laws being in town and living down the street now. So that's been so refreshing. And I was actually telling even my therapist, because it's to keep asking them for help. And it's not even it's for things oh, maybe Chloe's not in school at the time that I might need them for a certain appointment, or maybe even for this recording, right? She got to nap at their house while we're doing this. So it's just I feel I keep having to ask them for help, aka have them hang out with their granddaughter. So it's no worries for them, and they're both retired, so it's fine. But I don't know, just continuing to have to ask them to do things, and I don't know. It's just really uncomfortable for me. And they have never had any indication that they're annoyed with me whatsoever, or, ooh, this is getting to be a bit much. It's all literally on me. So that's just something I'm kind of sitting with and processing, and just, eventually I'll have to get used to it. And like I said, I brought it up to my therapist, so we're going to work on it. But I just feel very grateful still that, they're here and like we're able to have extra time with them. So they'll bring Chloe over after we're done here and we'll have dinner at my house. So that'll be nice. And yeah, Chloe had therapy this morning and she's doing still amazing with potty training. So whoop, whoop. And I did want to kind of like update on the side of like, yes, she's doing great with potty training, but also like her rewards have been for at least poo-poo in the potty, not pee-pee, because that would be crazy. But her rewards for poo-poo in the potty have been some screen time. And so if you've been listening to our show for however long, you know that like our TV in our house has been quote unquote broken for over a year now. Yes, the remote does not work for her. And so we have a secret one hidden that does while she's sleeping. So don't you worry, we still watch TV. But anyway, so like I was offering a full movie for anytime she did poops in the potty, which was, we're shooting for daily, but it's not always the case with this little girl. So now we're getting consistent enough to be like, okay, let's watch a show or like an episode, anywhere from, I put together kind of like a watch list on Disney Plus. And so of things that I think she'll be familiar with / like. So anyways, from anywhere from like 25 minutes to maybe even up to an hour long, anything that's like less than a movie. So just a little update there. And we've been watching on my iPad, not the TV. So
again, you can control it in a way.
We're going to, yeah. I don't know when we're going to upgrade to the TV. And my still biggest fear of like the TV is just because she can physically reach it. So that could be very, very bad news if she has a meltdown regarding the TV. So iPad's been great. Like I just put it back in its little spot in the house. And, she does have her moments of freaking out when I have to turn it off, but, not too bad. And she's getting better. And I think therapy is really helping a lot too. We might go to every other week if she gets better or stays consistent with potty training. But yeah, so far so good with that. So just wanted that little update.
Well, that's good to know. What other things are you finding helpful in therapy? Or if she starts being fully potty trained, are you going to stick with therapy? Or are you going to kind of just nip that in the bud and not go anymore? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think because I brought it up to her therapist today, I was just like, since she's doing so well with potty training, what do you think? Like, not necessarily me already making up my mind, but I'm like, what do you genuinely think about going to every other week? Or like, should we stay consistent every week? And she's like, well, let's stick, and not in a salesy way, of course, but like, she's like, let's at least stick with every week for the next week or two, like stay on our schedule. And then not directly addressing potty training. Like they didn't really talk too much about potty training today. So finding a different topic to relate to the next week and then maybe the following week, assuming she's still good with potty training from there, assuming we don't have anything to address, knock on wood. So she's like, yeah, essentially if she stays consistent with her own potty training without us bringing it up a lot in therapy, then yes, like it would make more sense to go every other week. But I think she's still benefiting from the chats, just maybe we don't need it as intensely as I was hoping for, like as we obviously originally got into it. So like today they were talking about affirmations and like what Chloe's favorite ones are to hear for herself. And that would be, let's see, she said brave, beautiful, and smart. So I thought that was cute. And she gets to do a little water painting, coloring for each one of kind of like what it looks like for her. So I think it's really cute.
I love that. Well, thanks for kind of peeling back the veil on what that looks like, because I'm sure people aren't sure kind of what to expect or if it's strictly potty training taught. So thank you for telling us a little bit more about it.
Yeah. Yes.
Awesome. Well, do you think we should get ready and hop into the episode with Shelby?
Let's do it. Hey mamas, let's be real. Between the kids, carpool, and never-ending laundry pile, who has time to deep clean their house? That's where Clean Lemon comes in. They're a Phoenix-based, non-toxic cleaning service that'll make your home sparkle without you lifting a finger. And just for our Mom Meets World listeners, Clean Lemon is offering $50 off of your first deep clean with the code MomMeetsWorld50. Fresh lemony vibes, no stress. Find more info at cleanlemonllc.com. Link is in our show notes. And use code MomMeetsWorld50 when you're booking.
Hi, mamas. Let's talk prenatals. As a mom, there's nothing more important than giving our little ones the healthiest start. And that starts before they're even born. I've been using NaturalBest, and it's truly a game changer. Created by a naturopath, Backed by science, these supplements are designed specifically for preconception, pregnancy, and postpartum. Whether you're planning, pregnant, or navigating the postpartum recovery, NaturalBest supports your body and your baby the entire way. Because mamas, you deserve the best too. Check them out at naturalbest.com and use the link in our show notes to receive 10% off your first purchase. Alrighty, guys, we are beyond excited to have Shelby Gosselin on our podcast this week. Shelby's a stay-at-home mom of 3 adorable little kids who loves to express herself through realistic chic fashion while helping other mamas do the same. Taking extra care of her body that wears the clothes she loves, Pilates-style workouts, and staying active are some of her favorite things to do. We are excited to hear everything you have to share today. Welcome, Shelby.
Thanks for having me. It's really excited to be here.
We're so excited to have you. So we just did a little intro, but obviously spill the beans on what you're all about.
Yeah. So obviously I'm Shelby. I have been married for 10 years. I have 3 little kids, 1, 4, and 6. I have to remind myself of their ages. They all have the 22nd as their birthday, and we have had birthdays back to back right now. So I'm like, Are they 3 or 6? Anyways, fun times to remember that. And then I am a big fashion enthusiast and a Pilates instructor. I am a stay-at-home mom / working mom. I'm
of course,
getting back into that, diving into that. And I'm also a type A mom. So I'm very schedule oriented, live around my kids' schedules. And with 3 of them, that can sometimes mean I don't leave the house that much, which has entered in the social world, or enter in the social world, where it's a chance to connect with women like you guys here, where we can be in our own homes, but we can still have this opportunity to connect, to talk about things that are so relevant and relatable to all of us. And that's really how I got into what I do now, is just being able to reach out and the opportunity to also help others.
Yeah, connect. Totally.
That's so relatable. I mean, as moms, we are at home all the time with our kids. I feel like in numbers of 3, one of them is either always sick or someone's home with something. And so I do understand that feeling of okay, if it's not this kid this week, it's that kid next week. And so I totally understand. I understand that. And so you said you're kind of starting to dabble into working again. So you said you do Pilates, but tell us a little bit how you got into fashion.
Yeah. So my whole life, I've always been very into fashion. In college, it would be getting ready with each other and helping my roommates pick out their outfits. And then, enter corporate world and real life. And then my first 2, that kind of hit the back burner. And then when my third, I got pregnant, and I was just there is a real opportunity here to help other women who are feeling man, my body is not my own right now. I don't know what I feel like, what I look like in this moment, but I still want to express myself. So then I let that side loose, I guess. And I started sharing not postpartum yet. I started sharing maternity friendly fashion and ways to work with it in your closet, things that you could buy that are not just maternity, but would work for postpartum period as well. And then it kind of took off from there. And then now it's really just become sharing ways to feel like yourself. So that can be different for everybody, but your style is a way to take control of what you want to put out there to the world. And as a mom, you have very little control over a lot in your daily life. So having that opportunity and having the opportunity to show women that you can do that too, and so simply in so many ways, is so impactful to me. I get goosebumps saying it, because you can still be you, even underneath the mom.
I feel like you're definitely pulling on the heartstrings with that for anyone who's listening, and especially me. I'm just nodding along. Yes, yes, yes. Because as women, we go through so many different chapters of our lives. Our bodies change, obviously through, pregnancy and then postpartum and all that. And it's just and even that aside, even not having kids, our bodies change. They're supposed to. And
normally,
yeah. And our style, our how mature we're feeling, and just all that. So I feel like it's really important to kind of probably look into people like you who have these tips and tricks and guidance, right? Because it's just we all still have our own identity inside of us. Yeah. It's just a matter of expressing it in a way that still matches what we're going through.
Exactly. And that's where I think there's a term for it, but it's dressing for how you feel, right? So it can be different every day. Like you can tell if I'm having a day if I'm wearing all black. Like that just expresses my mood. That just helps me like let that out. And it's also like a power move, right? Like it allows you to step out with confidence. Even if you're going to a restaurant with 3 little kids, in my case, you're like, I'm in charge. I'm in control. Even if you don't feel that way, it's just like a little boost.
Totally. And it doesn't get as dirty.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I absolutely love this. Okay, so I'm like chomping at the bit to know, how do you start this process, right? So you were saying how like you started with the postpartum. If you were to sit and like walk our listeners through opening up our closets now, do you build pieces off of what you already have, or do you suggest like going onto certain sites and finding staple pieces that you can kind of mix and match? Like how did you start, or how do you recommend we start if we wanted to, enhance our styles?
So first thing I would say is like going through your closet, because it can be really overwhelming if you just go in there and you're like, I don't see anything I want to put on. So a good way to do that and just like recognize visually what you're wearing and not wearing is to flip your hangers backwards. Ooh. So it's so simple. It's annoying at first, like when you go to pull something out because it's the wrong way, but it's really helpful because very quickly you'll see like I am gravitating towards these pieces or these colors. And then whatever you're not wearing, if it's been a few months, set it aside. And if you don't reach for it for another few months, it's time for it to go. So that would be step 1, just clear the clutter. So then when you walk in, you know, okay, this is going to make me feel put together, make me feel oh my gosh, I can't say that. Make me feel put together and make me feel good when I wear it. So that's step 1. Step 2 would be getting some great basic pieces. So a comfy pair of jeans. I'm obsessed with drawstring jeans right now. After having 3 kids and like being squished into things when you're pregnant, I'm not about fitting tight things. Like I want it to feel comfortable. And I think also when you're comfortable and you're confident in what you wear, that shows. So finding a pair of jeans, it doesn't have to be drawstring, but find a good pair of jeans that you can throw on and you can wear all day. You can play with your kids in them, run errands, you can dress them up. That is like a staple piece in your closet. Linen pants, ladies, all year long.
The best.
Linen pants are the new sweatpants, yes. And it's like you don't have to go super high end. Gap has some great picks. They have longs if you're taller, shorts, petites if you're not. But that's another great closet staple piece.
How do you tackle the wrinkles? Because that's the only thing that makes me not want to gravitate towards linen.
I mean, honestly, like if you go for a not full 100% linen blend, that'll help you take care of that. Yeah.
So quality is worth it. Okay.
Quality is worth it. Yeah. And there's so many good pairs out there. And it's like finding what fits good on you too. Like, because some are going to be too boxy depending on your height. So it's like a little trial and error and committing to it a little bit. But that's like the process of like finding your capsule. I guess it's all coming back to like a capsule wardrobe, I would say. And then other pieces to have. I'm also forgetting the question.
Oh, just like brain. We all have that. Don't worry. I was just like, how do you start to build? So are you buying new pieces? Are you pulling from your wardrobe? That sort of thing.
Yes. So, yes, thank you for that. It's like a combo of both, right? Like the staple pieces that you have in your closet, like the jeans, the linen pants, a good white tee, a button down. If you don't already have those things, those are worth investing in. And then beyond that, like it's fun pieces. I love a good matching set to throw in a couple of those, especially as a mom. If you're busy in the morning, it's just put one on and go. And they can also work really well put together with other things too, which makes it budget friendly then that way. And then the last thing I'll say is just accessories. Just a few good accessories will change any outfit that you're wearing depending on the day too. So I guess it would be a little bit of both, but don't feel like you have to go crazy to get the look that you want to get.
Don't go on a spree necessarily, but I love your tip about the hangers because I feel like what you literally said, that's step 1, and then kind of take it from there and find your other staples in your closet. Cause that's something that I definitely like struggle with as I picture myself going through that and like going through these steps. Cause I'll just feel a little overwhelmed by my closet and be like, oh, I don't want any of this, but I'm not about to toss it all out. Right. So I think that I'll definitely
is so stressful. And you feel the pressure then to like go out that day or order something, and then you make poor decisions because you're just rushed.
Yes, totally. And then like another thing is sometimes I'm like, oh, well, maybe I do want to wear this, for that Christmas party in 6 months. I don't know. Maybe I want it. And then other times I'm like, well, this is somewhat sentimental, but it's just like I'm sure you've heard of Marie Kondo, right? So like, does it spark joy? I don't know, but I
Yeah.
need to remind myself of that option too.
Oh, for sure. I feel that way. And I think my mom was like very much a sentimental, like, I don't want to say hoarder, but she holds on to everything. So I'm like, I can't let myself do that. But I mean, even just if you create a section in your closet or a little box, and once you take the things off the hanger, if you haven't put them on in a few months, like stash them away. They're not gone. And then that way, you know, you have them to reach for too. And you're not just like, oh my gosh, I now have nothing.
Genius.
I think so genius. I know that after this this meeting, I'm going to go and get a box because I'm finding that my friend just dropped off a whole bag of her clothes that she's like, let's just do a friend swap. So we just swapped a whole bags of clothes and I'm going through all her stuff and I'm like, would I wear this? Would I not? Is this my style? I'm wanting to change my style, but I don't really know if it's going to work for me. So then my closet's full, I feel. Now I have all these clothes that she has gifted me that are on the top area. So I'm like, okay, I should probably do the flip around thing and then put some stuff below and see how I can start incorporating her clothes in there. Because otherwise my closet's just going to be like a cluster mess. And so I'm loving these tips already.
Good. Yeah, it should feel like when you walk into your closet, if you have to shove hangers out of the way, then it's like, okay, it's a moment to take a step back and pull something out.
Totally. And then like, what would you describe your personal style? Like, how do you best express your own self?
I mean, I would say that my goal is to always dress chic and comfy. Like those are my two words, but in a classic timeless style. Like I don't want trendy pieces, especially if you're going to invest in something and like Amazon, Amazon for the trendy, and then invest in good quality basics because those are going to last you for so long, even as a mom, like, and especially reading the labels too, looking at what they're made of, how you wash it, like being aware if something's hand wash only, because that's a commitment as a mom, and things like that. Like it makes a big difference.
What kind of comes to my mind is Anthropologie because I feel like they have both ends. And, you know, I've shopped there, you know, a good amount of times. So then I'm like, well, sometimes I feel like it is pretty good quality, but then other times I'm like, maybe it kind of depends on like who's making it. But I feel like from what you were describing, what comes to mind is like, okay, they have really like not fast fashion in like the typical sense, but like fast fashion like styles.
Yeah.
And then, but they also have a lot of good basics. So I feel like that would be good. But now you're kind of making me think like, oh shoot, now I really need to pay attention to, you know, what it's made out of too, because that's extra important.
And you can tell when you're wearing something like how it lays on you and the thickness of the fabric. You want it to fall nicely too. And depending on like your frame, I mean, obviously like everybody thinks fit differently on them, but it's just something to be aware of the material because it does go a long way with the fit and then also the longevity of the piece too. But I was going to say Anthropologie, I think it's Maeve, Maeve.
Yes.
Yes. Such a great line. And just like they're thick cotton pieces. They wear well. They wash well. If you're looking for a good line, that's one.
I have a few of those items. Yes.
Yes.
I'm desperate for your favorite recommendation of a plain white tee because you said you have to have that staple, and I feel like that's the one thing I've been searching for forever in my life of like one that doesn't get kind of fade over time or get stretchy. What are your recommendations?
So Cuts, it's CUTS. They make a fabulous white tee and they have lots of different fits depending on how you like to wear your white tee. If you want a form-fitting one, a boxy one, a crop to be like tucked in more. They have so many options and they wash phenomenally. You can dry them too, which is also a win. Yeah.
Definitely checks the box. I know, because like especially in the Arizona heat, right? Like we're already pretty much in summer, and so it's just I don't want to get all sweaty and then get the sweat stains on there and all that. So that's So I'm like in the looser fit these days.
The other one that's a little more budget friendly, it's Naked Fashion. I'm saying that wrong, probably. Pronunciations. But they are a little bit lower in the price, but they are still great quality and a great tee for layering, for wearing on its own, throwing on jeans. Like you can make so many outfits out of a white tee once you find a good one.
Love it. And then you mentioned accessories. So I kind of want to like pick your brain about that. Like what would be your go-tos for that?
I mean, go-tos would be a great pair of gold chunky earrings. I mean, that is top of the list. It instantly elevates any outfit, sweatpants, biker shorts, and a sweatshirt, whatever it is, full on dressed up. My favorite brand for chunky gold earrings is Jenny Bird. I know they're on the pricier side, but the quality is there. They also do a good job with the backs of their earrings where they have like a little lobe lifter. So even though they are chunkier, it's supporting your ear so it's not pulling it down. So when you're older, you're not going to have droopy earlobes. It's always something to think about, right?
You're investing in the future.
Yeah. Yes.
I've never thought of that.
Yeah. Well, it's like everything just pulls down on it, and they're gorgeous to wear, but if you can't wear them all day, then it's like, why would you spend the money on them? So that would be number one. Number two would be a couple little bracelets. And I mean, you could find those things anywhere. Jenny Bird does very pretty ones too, but they are on the pricier end. J. Crew Factory, randomly online. You can find a lot of good things. And creating a little stack that you like, that you can interchange. If you like two-tone, it's a fun way to mix it up again without having to have a big wardrobe, just switching out your accessories that way. I have a watch, although it's so funny. It's a beautiful watch. It's called the Bretta brand. They're made in Fort Worth, Texas, which is where we went to college.
Oh. I lived there before Arizona.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I could segue into Texas talk easily. But they're like a local small business there, and it's a very timeless piece, but it doesn't have like hand markers on it. So it's so funny. I'll like catch myself looking at the time, and then I'm like, I can't actually tell what the time is. So if you don't care about that factor, then it's a great watch. And then last would be maybe just a couple rings if you're into that. But also rings are just like decoration at that point. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I almost forgot. Sunglasses.
Oh, duh.
Yeah. Like, especially in Arizona and Australia, I'm sure. Like, you need a good pair of sunnies.
Absolutely.
Polarized.
Oh,
Yes.
Polarized
definitely.
all the way. Okay, so I'm just like, okay, my list is adding up on all the things I want to add into my life and all these things. So tell me about, how do you incorporate working out and kind of like your household with your kids and, running a business online as you have your fashion Instagram account and all those things. How do you incorporate working out with all of that in the mix?
I mean, it's a juggling game, and honestly, every day is a little bit different. I used to be a 5 a.m.er, get up out of bed, ready to go, and that is just not the phase of life I am in right now.
Pre-kids.
Yeah, I mean, even two I could do it, but right now I'm just like, it's just hard. I hit the snooze, admittedly, and I used to be so good at that. So if you have tips on how to do that, let me know, because I need to get that back in my life.
Kids are the workout.
Kids are the workout. I mean, honestly, there was a day a couple weeks ago, I hit 30 miles, my steps. And I was like, that's insane. Yeah.
Wow, girl.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. But honestly, it's just putting it in where I can. I'm a big believer in 20 to 30 minute workouts and just being consistent with them. So Pilates to me just makes me happy. It makes my body happy, makes me mentally happy. It's one of the few times that my brain actually turns off. And it's like, I just think about here and now in the moment. And I love teaching it too. And like connecting to other women and helping them feel strong and confident in their bodies. Cause Pilates is really good at that. Cause it doesn't have to be a big movement. And you're just like, wow, I really felt that. And for like longevity and helping with balance, control, core work. It is so good for us as we age. But having said that all, it doesn't have to be Pilates, right? It's finding something you love and you actually want to do. Like working out shouldn't feel like a punishment, or I'm going to work out so that I can eat this. So it's finding a way to have a healthy relationship with that. For me, I mean, postpartum, it was wild, like especially with the third. It would be any chance that I could get. Some days it was just like 10 minutes and it's just hit the mat, squat it out, couple planks, couple deep core exercises, and then go on with the day. And then a little bit later, if there was a lull moment, sneak it back in. Right now, it's become like more middle day nap time, part of my routine. Yeah. And I look forward to it as like a moment to just decompress from the morning before the night shift begins.
That makes sense. Yes, totally. A little break in your day. Yeah. It's almost like, even though it's movement and it's energy, I feel like we get more energy after we move our bodies in a healthy way.
Definitely. I've seen some, I'm not scientific, but like charts of like your brain after exercise, and it is amazing. And it's like it's a form of self-care, obviously, and a way to fill your cup, and makes me think of like the Legally Blonde. Oh man, now I just blinked on it. The workout, the happy people don't kill people, but it's like
Oh, yeah.
endorphins and
what is that?
What is it?
Endorphins. Shoot. We're going to have to look that up.
Yeah.
Insert clip here.
I know exactly what you're talking about though. Yes, insert clip. That's hilarious.
It's so good. And it's
but
so
I'm loving what I'm hearing though. Like I am technically a certified personal trainer. So like I'm in the fitness world as well. I don't actively like practice my services a whole lot right now. Probably similar to you, but like I love like at least having our knowledge, right? And like on a professional level and like also sharing that knowledge because it's like, it's literally like your health, not just physically, but mentally too. So you want to feel good in your own body and then also still have the energy to like, so then you wear the clothes, right? You feel good in your body and then you have the energy to go out and like wear them out and do what you're going to do.
Definitely. And I mean, they really go hand in hand, right? Like taking care of yourself physically, mentally, and then a form of self-expression.
And then speaking of, so tying in fashion and fitness, what's your favorite athleisure wear or like workout wear?
I go through phases. Right now, my current obsession is set activewear and their Cloud line, Airlux line, Airlux.
Okay.
It is just like butter and it's form fitting, but it doesn't feel too tight. It stays up. It's flattering. It doesn't dig into the bra line. And it's stuff that I would like wear out of the house. Like I feel confident and comfortable in it. And especially as like a third time C-section mom, I have my own insecurities about things like that. So having a woman founded company too, that is aware of those body insecurities that we can have as women, you can tell that it's thought about in the design of their fabric and the pieces themselves.
Love it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
but
great.
There's so many good brands out there. It's hard.
I know, because Alaina's definitely in that. Too. There are some really good Australian brands. Have you found PE Nation? I mean, I'm just thinking through kind of, it's just such a range here. So I feel like sometimes I get like buyer's fatigue because I'm going through these websites and I'm trying to find all these, you know, they claim that they're this or that. And so it is a lot of trial and error, especially moving to a new place on like what brands do align with what you like. And yes, we have Lulu here. We don't have as much other, Alaina, what's your Viore? Viore. We don't have Viore.
I do love Viore.
Sorry.
Technically, this tank top is Viore.
I know, it's super cute.
And I love that they make their pieces in a way you can wear them as normal outfits too.
Yes.
Yeah, they get double duty.
But I'm loving, I really want all my shirts to have built-in bras with the summer heat. You know what I'm saying? So like that's what I'm looking for.
There's this brand, it's called OGL, maybe Active, but I'm actually wearing like their little 2-piece set right now. And it's a tank top with a built-in bra and then a maxi skirt. And it feels like it's like buttery soft, kind of feels like activewear, but looks like a real outfit.
I'm getting that right now. Done.
I love that.
Really good.
I think something
a little big.
Oh, good to know. I feel like something that's important for me with like finding a good outfit is that I'm not like fidgeting with it all the time, if that makes sense. And so like I think that's another important reason to not buy the fast fashion. And just like I think those go hand in hand of working out all the time, trying to get your body in a space that you feel comfortable, but also wearing clothes that complement your figure. For someone like me who has a really long torso and like shorter legs, like a high-waisted skirt kind of fits wonky. What is your recommendation on finding clothes based on your body shape, or is it kind of just trial and error, you know, throughout the process of shopping?
I mean, it's a little bit of trial and error. I feel like once you find a brand that does have a variety of like fits to them, then you know like that's one that you can go for. Like if they have a short length and a long length, well, usually then they have a regular too, as I say that. But if you find the brand that has those options, then it's going to be a little bit more fitting for more body types. And I feel like there's getting to be more brands like that. Like I know Viore is one that does have the multiple fits. Lululemon does too. Which I saw that they are removing their inseams from their Align leggings. I was like, finally.
I know. They just need to come out with the shorts, though. They only did it for pants so far.
I know. I'm like, but it's a step in the right direction. So I'll take it. And then another great one is Vitality online.
I've heard of Vitality.
Yes, they make a great fit. Their Cloud 2 biker shorts in particular are probably the best biker shorts I've ever tried on. But they're specifically online. So it's a little bit of trial and error there of like finding your right fit and size. They are overall pretty true to size though. So it's a little bit of both, unfortunately.
And I feel like with at least my experience is like whatever style and cut you feel comfortable and confident in, great. That checks a box. But also like you know, oh, if I know tube tops don't look good on my body, then obviously I'm going to stray away from those. And like, so trial and error in that sense, I guess, of being like,
Definitely.
well, that's super on trend. And like, that looks really great on Peyton, or that looks good on Shelby, but I just don't think that would look good on me. Then that's fine. Like, you know, process that and accept it, and then move forward with other things that you do know, like what looks good on your body in this chapter of life, you know?
Yes. And that's like going back to what we were talking about with the hangers and like your closet. Take note of what those kinds of pieces are. Like if it's a bold pattern and you haven't worn the dress in 3 years, maybe you steer away from the bold patterns for a little bit. Go for something a little bit more simple. And then simple is also timeless, elegant. You can wear it, layer it, and it just gives you so much more life out of one piece too. Same thing for activewear too. I mean, I love a color every now and then, but personally, like I cleaned out my activewear recently, and the majority of the stuff that went was all the brightly colored things that I'm like, I only wear them, like, for instance, red. I would wear it on like 4th of July and Valentine's Day if I was actually filming a workout. Other than that, it didn't get any love. So I was like, nope, clear space.
That's fair. Practice what you preach. So then with like having your family and like your existing routine and passions, do you feel like you've really settled into your own identity of like who you are right now, or how's that journey going for you right now?
Yeah. I mean, thinking about this question in general, like makes me feel emotional because with my first, I felt very firm in my identity and just, I was still Shelby and like tearing up as we say this all. In a good way, but I was still Shelby. I was still able to do the majority of the things that I wanted to do at any given point, right? I still taught classes in person. I took private clients. Date night was easy. And then you hit number 2 and it gets a little more challenging, right? You still find a way to fit it in. And then 3, it was like, oh my gosh, where do you find the time? And at first, like that hit really hard. And that's honestly where a lot of this came out of it for me. It was a way to express myself, to relate to others, to help others, because when you're doing something you care about and with purpose, I don't know if you've listened to like Jay Shetty's stuff. Yes. Finding your purpose, finding your reason why is so big. And so getting this opportunity to reach out to other women, to show other women like it's achievable. You don't have to be in workout leggings all day long. And if you're in that phase, that is okay. There's going to be a time when you're like, I don't want to wear that. And that's when you're ready to like revisit your style, revisit where you're at. So I guess I would, going back to your question, say that it's ever evolving. Like each year I'm more confident in who I am, what I want to accomplish. And honestly, like as a mom, my goal my whole life was to be a stay-at-home mom. And now I'm a stay-at-home mom and I'm like, I've been doing this a while. I love my kids. I love getting to be home with them, but it's a lot. It is a lot. And it's sometimes a very thankless job. So having the opportunity to do something for me and also to show them that you in any season of life can decide what path you want to take is very important. So it's for me, it's for them. And I feel like each year growing a little bit more, being more content with where I'm at too, it's coming. But I hope I never stop growing. So I'm like, yes and no.
That's like such beautiful words. I love your story so much.
Thank you.
I feel like everyone listening can relate to it, because I feel in some ways, you know, you come into motherhood and you think you're going to have exactly the right path, but we all are going to go on different roads. And the only thing in life that's constant is change. And so like, it's okay to be changing and not 100% happy with where we're at. And I know everyone listening is sitting there going, oh my God, I resonate what you just said. I mean, I got goosebumps when you said like, I get emotional thinking after having one, it's easy or easier. And as things change, it's just harder. And, you know, finding your identity within the new normal. And that's, again, that identity is going to change as your kids get older and all your different, you know, roles within the household and your marriage. It's just all evolving. So I totally resonate with you so much on that.
Roll with that in so many different ways. And that's hard. And that's like style is ever evolving, right? And so that's where like paying attention to what makes you feel so good when you put it on and what you gravitate towards. And that just goes on with like you put it on and it goes on with you throughout your day too.
Yes, that makes sense. Yes. Oh, I'm going to take all of this, save it, and actually start like using it. I'm going to, like, as soon as we're done recording, I'm going to head over to my closet. I feel like all
It's a
of this is
banger.
so amazing. Yes, right? That's first step number one.
It works in the
And
kids' closets too.
oh, there you go. Oh my gosh. Oh, okay. I'll
Loving
start with
that.
myself because I deserve this.
Yes.
But I do definitely like, I feel like this is just, validation of like any stage that we're going through. And like, we're allowed to change our minds. We're allowed to go through these like ever evolving identity situations and like change ourselves. And because it's not even just us changing, it's things around us too, like our kids, right? Like, especially at such a young age, like, because Peyton and I only have one kid each, and like they're both just turned 3 recently. So like even just as they start to like go into childcare a little bit,
Yeah.
right? And then like pretty soon we're going to blink our eyes, they're in elementary school, and it's just like, okay, that's going to free up even more time on our hands. And so we get to continue to learn who we are and how we want to express ourselves, like as our routines change.
Yeah. And it's like if you let go of staying in touch with your identity and who you are, then it's like when they are leaving the house and going to do more things, it's like, what do you do? And like being
Yes.
at home by yourself and staring at the wall, it's like you can fold laundry, you could do things, but it's like it's nice to have something for you, whatever that ends up being, and finding a way to tap into that. The way that I like to describe it to my husband, like those word clouds, right? Where your name is usually the big word in the middle. And it's like as you become a mom gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And then there's chauffeur, there's butler, there's chef, like all the little things. And you need to find something that brings you back to the front of that. Not that mom shouldn't be a big part of your life, but you are still there too. And so it's like finding what allows you to bring that forth.
Yes, 100%. Yes.
Oh, okay. So I feel like you've given us a list of 100 different things to purchase in like the nicest way. This is what we're asking you to do.
To purchase anything.
Of course.
I always say that with everything I share. I'm like, just because I'm sharing this does not mean you need to go out. That's another thing. Like, I really love to share things that you can do with your own closet. Like, so once you have those basic pieces down, like a white button down, like here's a bunch of ways you can wear a white button down. So it's like you're not constantly bringing new pieces into your closet.
Yeah. Well, so we do this section every week called the Moment, and it's kind of like a product we like or we're loving at this moment of time. And I wanted to know, do you have anything specifically front of mind that you're like, this is something that if I could say to all of you listeners to invest in or purchase, what would you recommend?
This is hard. I feel like I could say one for like each category. Things we've talked
maybe
about.
going into summer, maybe.
Going into summer would be investing in like a good mom bag, because as an accessory, it really changes any outfit. I love a good woven bag right now. It adds warmth, it adds texture. It's a great layering piece. And then thinking about one that's versatile, right? Like that you could use for date night, that you can carry with the kids. It has enough room to fit your stuff, plus a couple kids things. And it's like for you, once your kids are 3, like you don't need to carry around a diaper bag anymore, unless you really want to.
Thank God.
Go for it.
Oh my
but
God.
like I keep stuff in my car, right? So it's like you have that option to branch out and have a little bit of fun with it. But I really think there's so many great options for that right now. I have a one from J. Crew, absolutely love it. But anything woven, and it'll be a staple piece every summer too. It's not trendy. Woven, and
cool.
It's a beautiful summer bag.
Especially if it's a lighter color. That's something that I'm like, as being a mom and having a toddler, right? It's just like, I like basics, but I think that texture and like maybe even a light pattern, not just like about bags, but about like clothes or anything really. It's just like, okay, then it avoids like me having to give it away or toss it if it gets like a marker stain on it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So at least it helps hide a little bit of grime, a little bit of kid stuff.
Yes. Or notice like what's on the bottom, like if they have like a little stand or a darker color, like that can help too.
Good call.
So smart. So freaking smart. Okay. So just before we wrap up, I want to ask you a quick question. How do we find you? Tell us about your social media and how can all of our listeners find you?
Yeah. So I'm on Instagram and I'm on TikTok, and I'm just Shelby L. Gosselin. And that's pretty much it.
Love it.
Same thing on all the platforms. I'm on LTK and Shop My Too, and I love to share things on there too. And if you ever have questions about anything, size, fit, I'm always happy to answer those questions too. Just shoot me a DM.
Amazing. Thank you so much. I feel like, we didn't just learn about fashion from you. Like that's kind of like almost like the cover, right? But all the chapters inside have to reveal, there's so much more depth to what we're wearing and like how we present ourselves and live our lives that goes into it. So thank you so much for like sharing your story and your background and giving us tips and tricks on how to kind of do the same for ourselves.
Yes. Thank you guys for having me. It's so special to talk about and bring awareness to other women too.
Yay.
Awesome. Well, we'll talk to you guys soon and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us on this week's episode of Mom Meets World. If you enjoyed listening, please give us a like, subscribe, and find us on Instagram at Mom Meets World Pod.
Because sometimes you just need another mom to remind you that you're getting it right more than you're getting it wrong. See you next time.